What's holding Nawaz Sharif back? How difficult is it to RSVP a simple yes or no? It's been more than 48 hours that this invitation was given. Is the deep state holding the Pakistani premier back? Joining us for this special discussion, a member of Nawaz Sharif's party, the PMNL, Sadia Khan, joins us from Islamabad. Welcome, madam. All of India is curious to know whether or not your Prime Minister will be attending Narendra Modi's swearing in. Why is it taking so long for Nawaz Sharif to come back to India with a simple yes or no, ma'am? Ms. Khan, can you hear me? Sadia Khan, can you hear me? Just give me a moment. We'll try and set that audio line right. Here are images of what happened at the Indian consulate in Herat this morning. There have been attacks before this in Jalalabad. There have been attacks in Kabul. There wasn't an attack in Herat. Is this a message that is also being sent from the deep state, from the ISI army nexus in Pakistan to India and to its Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif not to go and visit Narendra Modi at his swearing in? Because if Nawaz Sharif were to come, it would be seen as a massive attempt at reconciliation. I want to welcome Sadia Khan from Nawaz Sharif's party. General Gul, please stay with us. Also, Tarun Vijay from the Bharatiya Janata Party is joining us. Sadia ji, I want to go across to you and understand. Now you're seeing General Hamid Gul, your former chief of the ISI, say it's a great idea for Nawaz Sharif to come and visit India. Why then has the Pakistani Prime Minister not been able to take a decision and tell Delhi whether or not he's coming for Narendra Modi's swearing in?
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam, I can.
Yes. I would like to say this is not an idea. This is a good opportunity for PMLN, for PM Nawaz Sharif to visit India. And as Modi have initiated very good efforts, and we are quite hopeful that we would be able to continue peace talks. And there is no matter for it, and we are not able to take the decision, nothing like that.
No, so why is it taking so long? It's been 48 hours. There was an attack at the Indian Consulate General in Herat this morning. Do you think the deep state in Pakistan is sending a message to Nawaz Sharif not to go?
Not at all, not at all. It doesn't have to do anything between both countries, because peace of region matters a lot. And for peace in region, we have to initiate dialogue, and for dialogue, we have to meet. We have to meet.
So why hasn't Nawaz Sharif yet been able to take a decision? Tarun Vijay, what are you making of this suspense and uncertainty? It's a diplomatic masterstroke from Narendra Modi inviting Nawaz Sharif in, but why haven't we been able to hear back? What's the BJP making of this delay?
I think I can understand about the dilemma that Mr. Nawaz Sharif might be facing in Pakistan. There are so many pressure groups there, of which Mr. Narendra Modi is very free. He is a bold decision maker, and he holds only one liner party, that is the India liner party. There is no hard liner or soft liner within the party. We hold India in the highest esteem, and his decision is accepted by everyone without any fuss. So Mr. Sharif will certainly come. I know him, I have met him before also, and I'm sure that his heart goes very well.
So you are suggesting that there are pulls and pressures within Pakistan that are holding Nawaz Sharif back. General Gul, earlier it was said about Manmohan Singh that while he was in government, he wasn't necessarily in power. He had the office, but the levers were being pulled from elsewhere. Can the same be said about Nawaz Sharif in Pakistan today? That while ideally, from his own individual perspective, General Gul, maybe Nawaz Sharif would like to come, but as Tarun Vijay suggests, there are pulls and pressures that are holding him back from taking a decision, sir?
I think this is a bias that this gentleman is talking about. It is a bias. I don't think Nawaz is being held back. We've got to weigh the pros and cons, and what Narendra Modi has a terrible past, unfortunately, and therefore a lot of people have misgivings within his own party how to deal with India in the future, and this is not an easy thing. So you have got to really do your homework, and I think Nawaz Sharif is involved in doing that homework. But I think Narendra Modi is more of a danger to India than he is to Pakistan. Because first of all the promises that he has made, one rule for all of India, one law, single uniform law, Ram Raj and this.
So you seem to be quite bothered about Narendra Modi and what he does with India. Why don't we just focus on the problems that Nawaz Sharif and your government and army need to deal with in Pakistan, and let Tarun Vijay's party decide what they want to do with India and how Modi uses this mandate? There's a lot of advice coming from the former ISI chief Tarun Vijay to your party tonight.
I think Mr. Hamid Gul is being a bit typically too arrogant, seeing his own terrible past. If he is saying something about the terrible past of my Prime Minister, then what about Mr. Nawaz Sharif? He was the Prime Minister when Kargil occurred and 26/11. All these things considered as a good neighbor, Mr. Modi has taken a bold move and invited all the SAARC heads of state and prime ministers. So this should be welcomed rather than going Ram Raj and showing concern about our people. India is well taken care of by Indian leaders and Indian democracy. Think about your country's poor, and think about your Dahshatgards, think about your Taliban, and the way you get billions and billions from America and China, both the military hardware.
That's a very straight message from the BJP, General Gul, to you. First, sort out Pakistan's many problems rather than suggest to India what India should be doing, General Gul.
Narendra Modi also has to sort out a lot of problems at home. Don't say that. I think this is not fair what you are talking about, because he's unfolded his agenda. This is not a new agenda. It's a BJP's agenda, but Narendra Modi is from Rashtriya Sevak Sangh. And we know that what is their mindset. They were the ones who killed Gandhi, and they were the ones who have always talked against Muslims and minorities, and not just Muslims, all minorities. So he will have a lot of problems at home. So we should pick him up. And if he wants to play soft with Pakistan, good. Then he will have to deliver to his own people, and he will not be able to do it. I can assure you.
Sadia Khan, how does the Pakistani government and your party, which is in power in Pakistan at this time, view Narendra Modi, and how do you think he's different from Manmohan Singh? Because we're hearing General Gul put out some of the worst stereotypes of Narendra Modi. India has voted and given him a decisive mandate. I hope Pakistan too is prepared to move forward, ma'am.
We have given our reply and we have given our message to Mr. Modi with congratulations to him on his phenomenal victory. And it was a loud message from Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mian Nawaz Sharif. And after Modi Saab's invitation for his oath ceremony to Mian Nawaz Sharif, we are quite hopeful. I have already mentioned about, as my colleague from BJP, he have mentioned that, and he is discussing the past events which have been happened before. We are not seeking all those things, and we are not reminding all those things. We are looking forward for some advancement in peace talks between both countries, no matter what the analysis of people, ex-army chiefs and other personnel are saying. Yes. We are looking forward. We want to go forward. We want to break all those obstacles which are against peace talks between India
we saw today
and Pakistan.
Hafiz Saeed, the master plotter of the 26/11 attack, actually issue a warning advising Nawaz Sharif not to go. Is that the ISI indirectly sending a message to the Pakistani civilian government, ma'am?
There is no one who is advising Mian Nawaz Sharif. He is an elected Prime Minister of Pakistan with the major majority. He have been elected. He is sitting in Parliament. He have a strong Parliament and cabinet, and of course we have to take decisions according to our foreign policy. And we are quite hopeful because we have good track record with BJP in India. And Mr. Vajpayee have visited twice during 6 years of his tenure, and we are looking forward, as we have been quite.
No, then let me ask you a direct question. We've heard from Sri Lanka, the president is coming. We've heard from Nepal. We've heard from Bangladesh. Every country has deputed the best person they could. Why aren't we hearing from Islamabad?
It was not. No. It was not a routine invitation. It was not a routine invitation which you have given to other countries. It was invitation to Prime Minister of Pakistan, because during previous 10 years of Congress rule in India, I'll call it a cold war between India and Pakistan. There was no initiative for peace talks, for dialogues, for bringing on each other on one table. Like dictator Musharraf have visited India and he went directly to Agra, but there was no progress in relationship between India and Pakistan. Either it's Kashmir issue, either it's insurgency in Balochistan which is accused, and either it's inside militancy of India. So we are quite hopeful that we'll forget the past, we'll move forward. And
no, because Tarun
Mr.
Vijay,
Modi is looking for
Sadia
Mr.
Khan
Modi
says
is looking
forget the
forward for
past,
economical.
move forward. But I was in Gujarat the last 2 days, in Gandhinagar and in Ahmedabad. We were also in Modi's constituency of Maninagar. It is very clear that Modi fans want to teach Pakistan a lesson. They're itching for Modi to put into practice all of what he said in opposition, all of what your party said in opposition.
So what,
they
what,
want
what
Modi
you have to do? What do you have to do with his statement?
To be tough on
Which
Pakistan.
he have given on 15th May. He said we can't
Rahul,
move forward without
this.
friendship tied with
Rahul, let me
neighboring
respond
countries
to
like
this.
India and China and Pakistan.
just-
I agree with you, Sadia. That's exactly the point that I'm
And-
making.
yeah.
That there are elements within the larger BJP family, the RSS, that want Modi to be tough on Pakistan. Then there is the more pragmatic
See,
approach.
around
let me respond to this.
around 814 billion population of India have selected Mr. Modi. They have voted for him, which is 1/3 majority of Pakistan total population. And they're looking forward for a boost in economy of India
Okay.
and taking example of
Those are
Gujarat
strong
as a
points.
developed
But Tarun
state.
Vijay, who will
but I
decide
must say,
the hardline
nation
elements
of
or the more
Pakistan-
pragmatic
No, no, no,
elements
like-
within the BJP? Mr. Vijay.
Rahul, BJP has only one-liner policy, and that is the India-liner policy. Even during the Vajpayee's bus yatra to Pakistan office, I was a part, and I met Mian Nawaz Sharif Saab there. I met Shahbaz Khan Saab also. That time also, RSS had supported Atalji's bus journey to Lahore. I was editor of Panchjand at that time. I initiated also a peace agreement and a peace competition with the Delhi Jung group of Pakistan, and Jung and Panchjand that made international headlines. So what we want peace, we want that terror groups should be controlled, we want that Pakistan should be unshackled of the former army chiefs, of the ISI groups, of those who support and nurture militancy against India. And I am confident that Mian Nawaz Sharif can take very bold moves. The only picture in Mr. Vajpayee's room that I have seen is the one picture shaking hands with Mian Nawaz Sharif. So that much of confidence.
No, but
we
is there a
have in Nawaz
fear?
Sharif Sahab,
Fair enough.
and
Nobody would
Pakistanis
want
also know
that India and
that the best
Pakistan
of
not
the Indian
move
relations,
on
whatever happened in
the
Kargil
path
and,
of peace.
with
But Ms.
Brigadier
Sadia Khan,
Parvez
is there a
Sharif, it
fear
was during
that there are
Vajpayee's time.
elements inside the Pakistani state that will try and destabilize this process? Elements that don't want Nawaz Sharif to come to India and who would try and do something like what happened in Herat to try and ensure that the peace process gets derailed even before it gets started.
Listen, one thing, inside issues in Pakistan, either it's militancy, either it's our opposition and other issues, we have to tackle them inside Pakistan. Our ruling political party PMLN will be tackling all these issues, but it doesn't have to do anything with our foreign policy. Because leadership is there, Mian Nawaz Sharif is there, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mian Nawaz Sharif is there to tackle all these issues. But our foreign
By
policy
when will we
and
hear,
our
madam?
interior policy, they're
By
quite
when will we hear from
different.
Nawaz
Yeah.
Sharif? You're from his party. Can you give us a time? Tomorrow morning, noon, evening?
I can't. No. I can't give the time. But of course, party's decision and Prime Minister's decision will come.
Okay,
It
we're
doesn't
all
have to
waiting
do
for that
other,
decision.
inside issues.
Let's see what it turns out to be. We're seeing
Hopefully.
even tonight, General Hamid Gul suggest to Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif that he should come to India. You don't get more hardline than that. But is that just public posturing? And behind the scenes, are there people who are trying to get Nawaz Sharif to say no? Well, let's see whether or not he accepts this invitation. Ms. Sadia Khan, for joining us from Islamabad tonight with your thoughts and saying that you want to move forward, forget the past. That's what the BJP is saying. That's what the PMNL is saying. Let's see whether or not that's the way it turns out. Thank you all very much for tuning in tonight.